earlier today, I was in the workshop and I was cleaning up after myself because I just finished a project and there was sawdust and shavings absolutely everywhere. Dusty old job it was. But you know, it's like when you do these mundane jobs, you tend to go in a bit of like, you know, autopilot, a bit like cutting the grass, you know, your mind drifts and, well, I thought to myself, how did I get here? How come I'm living in France? I didn't fall out of my mum's womb and think to myself, oh, I know what I'm going to do in my life. I'm going to work towards moving to France. Of course not. And my life goals, for instance, I would say they're a bit manipulated by my parents and what have you. There was absolutes and, well, no awareness at all, or any form of critical thinking. Pretty much told what to do, I suppose. And I did not know what I was doing. I did not have my shit together, no. Then I met my missus. Been together 30 odd years, no. I was only 18 at the time. So is it wrong? I don't think it was. Do I regret it? No. Do I think I could have done things differently? Oh, most definitely. Well, absolutes. Surrounded by pretty much most of my life, especially the early years of my life, and people trying to tell me what you can do. No, you can't, no, you don't do it like that. You do it like this. No lateral thinking, no. Or mindfulness. I know, I did not have it all together. Most definitely did not have it all together. I did most of the children, I say children, young adults of my age. Adolescents. No. When I think back to my friends and what have you, they were the same. Drifters. Just went with the flow because they didn't have the necessary guidance. Or the ability to be mindful. It's like indoctrination by our parents. That's how I feel. Certain expectations, you see, of what you can and cannot do and what you're supposed to do. For me, my dad's, he pretty much thought I was going to go into some kind of practical skill, which I did. I got educated as well, mind, but it's kind of this. It's almost kind of laid bare. That's kind of how my rails were laid, so to speak, and I had to travel along them as far as my father was concerned. And then you wake up, you become mindful, and you realise there's other shit out there. There's other stuff that you could be doing, other ways of thinking, trying new things. And the things don't get invented by just following the norms, do it? Things get invented because you think outside of the box. But like I say, I know I didn't have my shit together. No. To be fair, I probably still haven't. I'm doing YouTube. Case in point, I suppose. Well, the thing is, you see, when you get older, you should gain some wisdom, shouldn't you? Now, I don't consider myself a wise man, but I say I've got a little bit of wisdom. Or is it just common sense, maybe? Stuff I've learned over the years that brought me to this point. It's been a series of events. It's kind of educated me. Some shit was pretty bad. Some stuff was great. But you know not to make those mistakes again, don't you? But the problem is, for some people, this wisdom isn't really wisdom. We kind of have to respect our elders, or we're told to respect our elders, but they've had all these experiences, good and bad, but they haven't learnt by them. So they haven't got wisdom. Yet they tell us that they have, and they clearly haven't. Well, I think this misplaced wisdom is probably the most dangerous of them all, and I suppose it's a bit like another analogy I said in the previous video. I suppose like you could have a lion that's kind of wrapped in this wisdom in a way of disguising the lie. We're indoctrinating people further and deeper down the old rabbit warren. Well, like I say, I did not have my shit together, I really did not. And some people, they never ever learn. No. No matter how much trials and tribulations are thrown at them, they just don't learn. I know people who've, well read. They read and they read and they read, and you ask them about the book or whatever, they've forgot already. They're enjoying the moment, but they can't remember any of it. So they haven't learned anything. The same with life, you see, going through it, go through the motions, I suppose. Now I feel, especially after having my elder son here this week, well, the two elder sons, and it makes me hopeful because they're not bigoted, no. They are open-minded to the other. When I say the other, I mean like minority groups. They don't go around portraying bigotry. Very proud of them, especially for that fact, yeah. Decent people. Young people. So that gives me hope for the future, it really does. So many older people, my generation and older, is too many of them are bigoted. Too many. Not all. Or is it just a case that they're loudest? They are the loudest of them all. Is it that? So much anger, pent up anger, aggression aimed at people that they have never ever met. They probably never will. Stereotypes. Because they've been indoctrinated into a way of thinking. That the other, well, they're dangerous, but they're not. These people are just so angry. They're not happy, no. They're always angry. It's quite painful and quite sad to watch, to be fair. It's a burden, I suppose, to have that much anger inside you and feel that you always got to throw it out at people. Usually people are less fortunate than themselves. And in my life, okay, it's been okay. I didn't, have it all figured out. No, most definitely did not. It's been a series of events. No. I have to admit, I thought I did have it figured out. On more than one occasion. Then one of those events that kind of throws you off kilter, you know. It's like a curveball. Won't be the good stuff or the bad stuff. But I hope, or I feel I have, learned and got wisdom. Figured it out. Or have I? Depends what the next curveball's going to be, doesn't it? I think really the moral of the story is you just got to live your life and just take it on the chin. And think outside the box, have some lateral thinking, instead of being indoctrinated into absolutes. Now we know if a child runs into the road that you must get that child out of the road if you've got an opportunity to do so. Grab the child, get that child out. But you still got to be mindful. You don't want to pull the child into the traffic and in the opposite direction, do you? No. That'd be a bit silly. You need to be mindful. So as these events, they pan out and they lay you a fresh set of tracks to follow, you just need to be mindful and decide on which set of tracks you want to take, I suppose. There'll be a junction. It's just a series of events. Just live your life and enjoy it, you know. You only got one, haven't you, after all. And be mindful. And free from indoctrination. That's influence from others. You know, don't be wrong, you know, other people might be a positive influence. But you need to be mindful. And see the wood from the trees. And don't just follow absolutes. Otherwise, we wouldn't have, what we've got today. You know, science, for instance. If we just followed the norms, we wouldn't, experiment. And we wouldn't have other stuff, you know? It's just kind of how it is. How many things have been developed, or been discovered, I should say, for good and for ill, because it didn't pan out the way that they expected it to. But then, they learned something new. I can give you an example. During the war, they developed a weed killer called 2,4-D, but that wasn't what this chemical was for. They still use it today, 2,4-D. I believe they do anyway. And this particular chemical, they thought they put it onto the fields and what have you. What it'll do will be, enhance the growth and what have you of these vegetables, carrots probably. It was wartime. But what they found is the 2,4-D chemical pretty much wiped out all the grasses and the weeds and stuff that were in between the actual carrots and vegetables and stuff, and not affect the vegetables. So yes, it did enhance the growth. That's 2,4-D. Well, not the grass, the weeds. It don't affect the grasses. No. Yeah, you can use it as a weed killer on grass, I believe, to kill all the dandelions and stuff. But yeah, it's having a way of thinking that pulls you away from the norms. That's pretty much it. Just think outside the box. And, there will be bad and there'll be good. There'll be stuff that really throws you out of kilter. But it'll make you a better person for it. That will. That's what I think anyway. But be proud of what you achieve and what you do in life, and push yourselves forwards and just take it one step at a time. It's a series of events. That's all it is. Just chill. Call it chill, that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, have a lovely day. Please boot the old like button. Ta-ta.